These are hunter-gatherers. They lived wherever their food was so that they could hunt it and gather it. Now, because they lived wherever their food was, they were nomadic, so they traveled, and they could only have a child every 4 years. Now, Tibby here is a little one dropped some seeds. Came back after following their game, and they found a whole new crop of wheat. And his family was like, what the heck? But he was like, I have a great idea. So that's a little light bulb there. He built himself a barn in his farm, and he had domesticated some animals. He was, well, if I can have meat right next to me, why not? So his animals were domesticated. He also domesticated plants, and he would pick them out, like, I want these strawberries. They are bigger berries than the rest of them, so then he would go plant those. He also did cats, he had horses, cows, sheep, and dogs, whatnot. We'll see them in a second. There they are. Yay, dogs. Now, other people started copying him. They were like, oh, that's so cool. Higher food, more people. It's fantastic. Feed their families. But they didn't necessarily only choose everything that Tibby did. They would say, oh, I don't want to plant, but I'll keep my animals in one spot. That's easier. So we move on back to the domesticated animals. Horses were in particular very useful to humans. They provided modes of transportation, like little carriages. These people are in the carriages, by the way. And they could also pull plows and till up the land, make it easier to farm. And lastly, you could ride them. So these people are actually riding the horses. It's not awkward there. Okay. And then, through that, people had a surplus of food, and they had time to not necessarily feed themselves. So they had specialists who could work on inventing things. And this little person on the left has invented a gun. She's like, oh my gosh, it's a great idea. I'm going to go shoot people. And then the little girl on the right is inventing a train. And so that's where horses started coming out of the picture. That's a car. Through those specialists, cities were able to come out because people were inventing things, and that just made it super easy for everybody. Not everybody had to farm and gather their own food. Well, this took a really long time. So there's a little guy in a suit, and he has a car, which is more modern, and he flew to the city in a plane. That actually is a plane. And we were able to invent things like schools and hospitals and grocery stores and transportation and trucks and whatnot. And it was a whole new step for humans, Homo sapiens.